Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to Throwbacks, where we talk all things cool and retro. And retro is what we have here with the Star Wars Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Kenner style retro action figures. Now, spoiler alert right off the bat, I am not going to be opening these out of their packages. I will take them out of the shipper box here type thing, but I will not be releasing them from their card. So if you're wanting that, you might have to search elsewhere. But I think you're going to pretty much get the idea of what the figures are. I mean, they're 5-point POA, and you're pretty much going to see what's going on in the package. So speaking of packaging, let's go ahead and have a quick look at the container style box that they come in here. You get your Attack of the Clones, Mace Windu, Jango Fett, Padme Amidala. Then you move on over to Revenge of the Sith with Anakin, Grievous, and Clone Trooper. I find it interesting we did not get a Obi-Wan. That's very strange to me that we didn't get a Obi-Wan in this Revenge of the Sith style packaging. Maybe it's coming down the road, but it's kind of interesting that they chose Mace, to go here. Maybe put the Trooper over here, and then whatever. But I think you're definitely missing out on, and maybe even Jango. I think I would go with Dooku instead of Jango. So different choices, different strokes, different folks. That's just my opinion. I do really, for something about this movie clip art here, just really screams to me like early 2000s style. What's the word I'm looking for? Advertisement. So just kind of something about that just screams that for me. And on one side we do have Attack of the Clones, and then on the other we of course have, you guessed it, Revenge of the Sith. So let's go ahead, crack this box open. Let's go ahead and go from the end that is already a little goopered up. One quick slicey, and we should be in here with no problem. Quick slice there. Oh, I probably just cost myself $20 because now it's not sealed packaging. But you know what? It's alright. I want to look at them, and I want to look at them with you guys. So let's do that right now. Slide these bad boys out of the package. One by one. They all come rolling. Oh, there we go. Rolling out of there. Alright. Obviously, we'll start off with Attack of the Clones, so let's do that. One last figure hanging out in the box there. We got a mess. Let's get this organized here. So we got Attack of the Clones Mace. We got Attack of the Clones Jango. That was not a good meeting for those two. Well, maybe one of the guys it was a good meeting for, but not so much the other. Alright. Throw those out of the way. Alright, so let's go ahead and dig in here. Let's move a little lighting in. Not too much here. Who should we start with? Let's go ahead and start with Padme, the queen of my early teenage years, that's for sure. Pretty fun, very Leia-esque look here, obviously here with the face. You got those boots, a little pew-pew going on there, and you do get a little very vintage style cloth wrapping around her top there. Card art looks very good. Obviously that's Padme. And you know what? I think you would say that's either Padme or Princess Leia if you were given this figure with no kind of idea of what you were looking at. Back of the card art is pretty lackluster, I would say. You do have a little blurb at the top, but we're not going to get into that. It's the same as all the other ones. And these do not have punched out peg holes, which obviously why would they? But just for, whatever it's worth, those are not punched out. And I will not be punching them out, so I'm going to put them right back in the box when I'm done with this and display them in the box. That's what I did with the first set, and that's what I'll do with the next one. Moving on to good old Jango Fett here. Very nice Jango Fett. What's that? Okay, oh, okay. I was like, where's his handle? So there's a handle, obviously, for his blaster. His blaster seems a little bit long, but it's kind of silly and kind of goofy, and I kind of like it. It seems definitely overly lengthy. It's almost the length of his leg there, so it would seem to be a little over the top, but I actually dig that a lot. It definitely looks like Jango. Super fun. I dig this a whole heck of a lot. Really good card art there. Would almost say that's like some reuse from the vintage collection. Jango Fett type stuff, figures there from the past. Back of the card is the exact same, so we won't bother getting into that. And on to my man, Mace Windu. He's lining up for the home run ball, we'll say, here in this image. I think we know what happens a few seconds later. But here we go with Mace. Would I say that that looks like Mace? I'm probably going to go with no. It almost looks like kind of like a bald Ahmed Best, honestly. It has kind of an Ahmed Best look there. Obviously, the actor who portrayed a good old lovely individual known as Jar Jar Binks. Get the good old style cloth goods here, you know, very reminiscent of the past. Got some, what's the Rancor Keeper? He always had some of this, and a lot of Jabba Sale people had some of this kind of color, like loincloths and things like that. Purple lightsaber, looking about the length of Jango's blaster there, so pretty cool. Again, card art looks somewhat like a reuse. I don't know, I could be wrong. I'm not, with the crazy price hikes of vintage collection figures, I have not quite kept up with those like I have in the past. But this was a line that I always clamored for it when they were doing the Obi-Wans, when they were doing the Andors, and did they do Andor? Anyway, when they were re-releasing the original trilogy on this retro style card back, I always said, man, I just want them to do, you know, the prequels. Like, let's do the prequels. Let's go. Enough of this, you know, Ahsoka. Enough of this other stuff. Like, give me this. And then they put them out, and of course, and they're 50-something bucks and the box set. So what's a guy to do but keep his word and make this happen? And we are on to the Clone Trooper. This is really rad right here. Uncle BJ, I think, would definitely dig this, and I'll be curious to see if he picked this up or not. Little pew pew hanging out there. I don't know that they really went. This almost looks like a regular vintage collection blaster. I don't really know that they made a kind of a. I don't really know that they dumbed this down enough to really sell the retro look there, so that's worth noting. Helmet looks great, just like I think they would do it back then. Purple backing here on this Clone Trooper is really nice. I do dig that. That was an interesting choice, but a very cool one, I think. I think it works really well with this. Clone art there on the card. Very nice. That might be my favorite so far, is that Clone Trooper. Let's see who we got next. Let's go with General Grievous. An interesting one for sure. Definitely like the green card back, one that they always tend to do with the vintage collection one. And we do get four lightsabers here with Grievous. He does have a little special feature here where his arms do open up. So that was definitely interesting how they did that. I think this is, I think they really nailed with Grievous how they would have done Grievous back then with, you know, with making this happen. I think it's simplistic. I think the silver is probably right on. They may have even gone a little bit more silvery than they would have done back then, but I think it hits just right. And then the face looks really good there. That's a really good, what I would think of how they would do this Grievous. Maybe the card art. That's the other thing, is when they had this massive sticker, like, why do we need this sticker on the on this style, like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, you get the point. Figures, like, obviously those are not vintage. That doesn't make any sense. So, and then, you know, the image behind it this is kind of ruined here with this giant sticker. Some of them, it doesn't affect it nearly as bad. Like, for instance, like we just did. The clone doesn't bother me as bad, but this one just is like right in his face. Sticker-wise, so that's kind of a bummer. And I know people say you can remove it, but it's just not worth the effort there for me. But very nice Grievous. I really do like that a whole lot. And let's go ahead and finish it up with our main baddie, our Anakin Skywalker. He thought he was good to go, but little did he know that Obi-Wan had the high ground. And we had the high ground here in this video. Well, we're digging into Mr. Anakin himself. Would I say that's Anakin? I don't know. He may be a 90s boy band guy for all I know, but he looks really good all the same. Does have that nice light blue lightsaber going on there. I think the perfect amount of deco. I think the perfect amount of detail. Not too much, not too little. A very cool looking Anakin Skywalker from Revenge of the Sith. Again, card art. not the worst. I mean, you really want to see his hand holding the lightsaber. To me, that's just such an iconic pose that covering any of it up with this retro sticker is kind of a bummer. But overall, I think it's really cool. And overall, I think this set is very, very cool. And one that I would suggest picking up, I picked up this one from Hasbro Pulse. I'm not really sure where else it's available, if this is going to be a Target or not. I know the last set was at Target, but this one obviously I picked up at Hasbro Pulse. But very happy with this, actually. Wow, this is actually a really, really fun, cool set, and would highly recommend it to everybody. What do you guys think? Check it out. The videos. Is it something you want to pick up, you want to look into, or is it just another easy pass from the Hasbro team? I would say give this one a chance, especially if you're a vintage figure collector and you only really do the old guys. I think we all have some nostalgia now for the prequel series, and would suggest go ahead and making this happen. These will make a fine addition to your collection, and as General Grievous would say, and as I would say, do us a favor, hit us with a like, hit us with a comment, and of course subscribe to the channel as we post new content every single day. But much like General Grievous hanging off the edge over there at Utapau, it's time to throw one back. It's time to get on out of here. So for myself and Uncle BJ, we are going to throw one back, and we'll see you all next time.